Hey everyone, welcome to the first attempt here at doing a actual traditional art video. I'm Emily. Nice to meet you.
And I am Brittany.
Yeah, so
that's my name.
Yep. So Emily, I'm the redhead at the top who can't figure out how to not lean over her paper. So, yeah, it's not going to be the best quality. So, this was our first attempt doing a, traditional recording. We bought, a $20 tripod from Walmart and, tried to record both spaces with just, my phone. And we're just, recording the audio on, the tablet. So it's not great quality, but I don't know, it's my first time doing an art challenge, and I thought it'd be fun to at least try, so, apologies for the bad quality. I'll figure it out one of these days, but I still want to do something, so.
Yeah.
So, this is the Easter palette challenge that I posted about on Instagram. Basically what happened is Brittany and I were at Michael's and we saw this, $3 set of terrible looking acrylic paint. And it was just a really fun Easter palette. We were like, we should paint something with that. So we did. So
you can see us both going right there.
You had much more of an idea of what you were sketching.
I just kind of started sketching. Surprise, it was a lady face.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
I know.
We were when we started out, we were like, should we do a theme? Should we try to do
We did at first have a patterns theme, so you know how you'd paint patterns on an egg.
Yeah.
But I just drew a lady.
And I just drew a bunny.
So it wasn't working.
Yeah, well, and I'm kind of glad we didn't go for the patterns theme, because trying to get these acrylics to work
was hard.
Was really difficult, yeah. Well, and I feel I don't know, I feel patterns are something that's a little easier to do with acrylic, whereas trying to do more of I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I'm rolling my kneaded eraser. I do that so my paint, my lead won't show through when I go into paint. So yeah, my sketch isn't there anymore, but I can see it. You guys just can't, because it's on a video.
Okay,
that was taken with a cell phone, and we zoomed in.
Yeah.
So
this is, that's interesting, though, because that's much smarter on your part, because your colors did not end up as muddy as mine did, because you drew dark and then erased. I just drew light, but then didn't do any erasing, and those lead particles got all up in my paint.
That just comes with practice. I don't know. You make mistakes, and you learn from them pretty quick.
Yeah. So there's a tip.
I do a lot of watercolor painting, so I had a little bit more of a basis going into this than Emily did.
Oh yeah, I haven't done any traditional painting since college, honestly. So how long is that? 4 years, 5 years?
5 years. We went back. We tried to do it again in 2014. So that's 5 years.
Yeah. So, and I mean, Brittany does a lot of traditional painting. I do chibi badges, so I have a lot of art practice behind me. Well, and I do a lot of just pencil sketching, and I don't know, I thought that acrylic would be a good place to start reintroducing myself to traditional artwork, just because.
I guess I got done waiting for you.
I know you did.
I eventually did just get done waiting for you, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, well, I was almost done with my sketch anyhow.
I think I'm trying to mix a skin color and going, okay, I guess I have pink and yellow.
Right? Oh, when I did my design, I wanted something that was just a very easy cartoon that I could do. Well, okay, so my plan going into this was, we had that very limited color palette. I wanted to do just base colors on the different parts of the drawing I had, and then use the other colors to do just two-tone shading with it. But layering these paints
Layering
did
this
not
paint
work.
was hard.
So, okay, so this acrylic paint, I don't know if it's just this brand or just this special Easter pastel stuff, but it was so thin.
It was thin and it was light. Oh heavens, it was
so
light. Except for that purple that was so overbearing.
Right, and you can see the purple on the palette there. It looks so soft, but then when you see us start putting it on the paper,
you'll see us put it down and go, holy moly.
It was so dark. So a lot of the challenge of this challenge was it was just dealing with the paint itself, because it was like, I don't know if it's just, like, this brand might not usually do pastels like this, so I don't know if it was just watered down, or if it's just a cheap brand that's really watery, but I think both of us ended up treating it more like watercolor than we would have acrylic. And, I mean, part of that is I generally, when I do acrylic, or when I did acrylic back in my DeviantArt days, I suppose, I did treat it more like gouache than I did acrylic.
That's kind of how you're supposed to use acrylic, from what I gather. But I don't know. This is like the only thing I've ever painted in acrylic paint, and I don't know. I just don't feel like this is really acrylic paint. It's like calling it's the same thing as calling the Crayola palette of watercolors the same thing as real high quality watercolors. I don't think it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, because it also, like, on the packaging, it's all like, this paint is good for indoor, outdoor, crafts, wood projects, this and that. Like, it's very clearly just meant to be just like a craft project. It's not meant to be like a high quality art supply, but that's part of what made this challenge so fun. But yeah, so look at this. I was using just pure yellow here. Look how much, like, darker it is on the paper than, not darker, but brighter. You know what I'm saying? Vibrant more. I don't know, these colors ended up being so much different on the paper than they were, like...
look, my eye patch comes to fruition. I really wish I wouldn't have done an eye patch. I was just, like, done drawing. So I was like, you know what, I can't get this other eye, I'm gonna just slap a Rooney and eye patch on there. It's good. I'll put a pattern on it.
Alright, well, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think you've kind of got the problem of you want to get to the painting. You are a painter, so you just kind of, like, suffer through the sketch and then, like, have fun on the painting.
Suffer through it. I still have fun with it. It's just, but I do get impatient. I want to get that paint to the paper and watch the colors come to life and, play around in that area, because that's where I like. That's the area I like is color.
Yeah, well, I'm the opposite way, where, like, I will spend forever on a sketch and kind of, like, render that out really well.
Look how dark that purple is. See, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be brave, and I'm just gonna start layering that purple.
And then that first layer just turned out so dark. Look how
dark.
I know.
I could tell that it was going really dark, so I started putting my pink in. And I think that was my saving grace. I think if I had just gone through the whole thing with that dark paint, without that base coat, I think that I would have really messed it up. And I did go back through and I lightened it with different paint. I put some blue in there to lighten it, because I was just so upset with how that happened, because I had the face so pretty, and then that big old chunk of dark paint.
Oh, I know. Well, because you were just trying to do just like a nice, is wash the right word, or is base coat?
Just like a base coat, and I thought it was going to be so much lighter because the rest of the paint had been so much lighter, even lighter than what it was on that palette, and it was just like, it was so hard to use, and but that was so dark.
Oh, I know it was. Yeah, I used just like a tiny bit of it in my my shading on my bunny there, and it just stands out. And I had a hard time.
I can't wait to watch you rub through.
Oh, I know. So I had a hard time shading this yellow because, well, I didn't mix paints. I was just trying to do layering shading, and it did not work with that purple because that purple was too dark. So you can see where I started doing it in that top bit right there, and then just used water and gouached it out from there. And that's when I really started treating it like watercolor. At that point was when I realized that the purple was going to be way too overpowering for the yellow, and I don't know, I guess I probably should have done what you were doing and just actually mixed some colors together, but I don't know, I
want you to know that at some point I filled that entire palette up with or that entire plate up with color, right? And then I caught myself going, I wish Emily hadn't done that. And I was like, that was actually 100% me.
No, I didn't.
You didn't mix a single color. No, I caught myself because I was like, why what am I doing?
I don't know.
I did this.
Well, the thing is, I think I used some of your mixed colors at some point, but I just didn't mix any myself, and I know, I'm racking my brain trying to think why I didn't do that. I know, I guess it's because I had this idea going into it that I really wanted to do, like, two-tone shading with this, because that's, you know, I do chibi badges. That's what I'm good at, is doing just, like, simple cartoons and two-tone shading. And then, I don't know, once I started playing with it, I decided I wanted to do, like, more textures and stuff, but I guess I just didn't get the two-tone color palette out of my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, I
wonder how this would have worked. I wonder how different this experience would have been if we had, like, little canvases rather than just watercolor paper.
I don't know, because, yeah, it'll be later in the video, but there's a point where I had, an especially difficult time with the canvas itself, or not the canvas, but the watercolor paper, because, okay, so, again, Brittany does a ton more, like, traditional painting than I do. I don't know, I have this problem where I block myself from getting anything out. I can't, you know how, like, okay, sorry, let me put words on it real quick. I'm not great at that. Okay, we were talking earlier about how you have fun with the painting where I have fun with the
drawing?
With the drawing, yeah. So I think what it is like I still had fun with the painting, clearly, but it's just not where I can zone into, I guess, or I can zone out.
You can zen?
Yeah.
You can drive too, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'm still enjoying it, but I didn't get into that, like, that just nice state of just, like,
state.
Yeah, time doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, you know, like, you get to a point when you're doing a drawing that you really like doing where you just, like, it's almost like a meditative state where you're just having a good time and none of that matters. And I was so frustrated with this paint that I never got there. I was just, like,
I was
fussing over. Oh, I was not. I was fussing over every little thing. Like, look, there's that blue that went down so much darker than I expected.
I know, and I was. I actually noticed that blue on yours, and I was able to see how dark it went down and then use it effectively. So thanks for making a mistake for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then there's that bit of purple.
I know. I wish that I had
dark it was.
Watched you put down that purple too.
Well, you put down the purple before I did.
I did. I just went for it.
I know, but so in my initial sketch here, I was planning on having, you know, because I thought that would be a nice light pastel blue, so I was going to have the entire egg be blue, and then the entire bunny be purple, and then, I can't believe I forgot the name of a color. So the entire egg be blue, the bunny be yellow, and then pink spots on the bunny for emphasis, and then purple, like, patterns on the egg. But I ended up getting so fed up with it that I didn't even, like, my Easter egg. I just called it good. But... So, anyway, so I was saying earlier, I don't usually we were using Brittany's kind of, I don't know, what level of watercolor paper is this for you?
Oh, this is like, okay, so it's better than your regular, your regular Canson watercolor paper. It's better than that. It is 100% cotton paper, which makes it nice. Mm-hmm. Though this paper isn't maybe the best made, but I mean, you get 100 sheets. That size, but 100 sheets for $7 with your Michaels coupon. So I'm gonna keep buying it because it gets me painting. I have a lot of hang-ups about actually painting on my arches, which is dumb because I know I need to actually learn on the arches because it's a different experience. Mm-hmm. But it's so expensive.
Oh, I know.
It's so expensive, and I'm just gonna keep using my B watercolor paper because it's affordable but still paintable. I cannot stand paper that is not 100% cotton. If it's not 100% cotton, it pushes around weird. You can't layer. It doesn't soak in. It's well, then that's, I hate
with watercolor, though, right?
Like, yeah, that's with watercolor.
Okay.
I don't know how it would be with acrylic because I've never used the acrylic.
Yeah, well, I mean, we use the acrylic here, and but again, I don't know if this is good acrylic because it really did work more like watercolor for me. But, or I guess I just ended up using it more like watercolor. I didn't, like, do a wash with it or anything. I don't know. It was just...
I did a wash on her face. I put it on very, very lightly.
And it looks really nice. Like, I kind of wish I'd done that with my egg, and then I could have gotten some, like, nice tones with it, and then I could have gone in and done...
There's, like, 1,000 things you see now. I actually wouldn't go so soft with mine. I would, I think, go with more blocked out colors. So, you know, which I could take two ways, you know, actually blocking out each individual shape in a color, or I could... have done an entire composition to use that effectively. But that's the thing about tools, is that you never really know what kind of pictures you can create until you've used it a couple times, so you have a handle of it, and then you can really go in and take advantage of your medium. Or your media. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. Oh no, here's the part where I started messing up my...
Oh, you did need to fix that, though, didn't you?
I did need to fix that, I know. Okay,
you know what, actually, I don't think you needed to fix that. I think that you should have painted the rest of the damn paper purple.
Well, okay, so here was the thing, is I wanted to do, just like... Out. It would have, yeah, but I see that now, hindsight's 2020,
yeah.
But, is that the phrase? Anyway,
yeah.
So I wanted to do just like little bits of pop here and there, because I didn't want to do like lining on it, but I still wanted the silhouette to stand out. So I was just trying to do like different little pops of color across the entire thing. And then I liked how all of my other pops of color turned out, except for that one up there, and I tried to fix it later, and it, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then look at that, you handed it to me.
Yeah, it was like,
you were like, what do I do? And
what
I was
have
like,
I done?
take it out.
Yeah. Well, and I tried to take it out.
And the thing about, well, again, I'm used to watercolors. This is a lot more staining than watercolor is. A lot of the time, if you get it early enough, you can get your watercolor. You can get your paper almost back to white with watercolors.
And I did try to do that. You'll see later when I really just wanted.
You let it sit too long. You needed to do it immediately.
Yeah.
But again, that's another thing that comes with experience, with just working with it and learning. Yeah. And there's so much about art. You can be taught so much, but you can't be taught. You can't really be taught exactly how to hold your pencil, because everyone will end up doing it differently. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gosh, my eyes are bad.
You can be taught things, but you have to practice.
You have to practice and implement, or you won't ever really take it in.
So, if anyone's watching this, even though Easter is done, like I'm getting this video out after Easter. I really should have tried to get it out like a week before to give people time. But if you want to do the Easter palette challenge, even though it is post-Easter, please feel free to do that. I would love to see what other people come up with and what you all have to say about this weird paint. Because I don't know, does anyone like use this? What is the brand even? It's like
it's the 50-cent paints that you can get anywhere.
Yeah, this cheap acrylic paints, this Michael stuff. Like, does anyone use that as their like primary paint source?
We paid $3 for 4 paints, right? We could have gotten each one for 50 cents.
Oh, I know. We found that out afterwards, and like part of the reason we bought it in the first place, we were like, it's only $3. We can mess with this. We could have like picked out our own palette. I know. Oh, and then we could have gotten a lighter purple too, but
I know.
So maybe we'll do another palette challenge at some point with we'll actually like pick out some colors that go well together. And I mean, they ended up going okay together, but I don't know, that purple is just so overpowering.
Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going in. I'm trying to darken some areas to
look,
to make
there
that.
I am trying to erase that purple.
Oh, did I finally get to the point where I was done with that water? I think I got to a point where I was like, this, yep, there. Yep.
Oh, see, and there I am trying to erase that purple, and at some point here, okay, so I was trying to erase it like you would erase watercolor, so I'm putting a ton of, I put a ton of just water on it, and then I was trying to, like, dab it up with a, paper towel, and that was
just
very clearly not working. And then I kept just like rubbing my brush on it and just like putting a ton of water on there, and eventually the paper itself just started falling apart, and I have this like big hole in my canvas where I just overworked it to the point that it like legitimately just started peeling off. Yeah, right there is where it started peeling off. And then I was like, whatever, I guess I'm just going with that. So I started just peeling it off. Yeah, because what else was I supposed to do? Like, oh, it's a disaster. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's a thing I would not do again. Do not recommend.
Instead of just resigning to your fate and painting the background.
Well, I didn't want to paint the background purple. I wanted it to be like white and like, I don't know, just like I said, I just wanted like little pops of color to just like make the silhouette stand out. I didn't want it to be this whole thing, and now it's got a big old hole in it. I know. So yeah, if you are ever using these
another
acrylic,
thing about this paint is that it comes out really gray.
It did, yeah, and we both had that problem. I thought it was the
because
lead.
I mean, I actually kind of like the effect it gave my girl's face.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was able, you can't really see it here, but in the actual image, it kind of, the actual thing, as long as you're holding it, I'll never be able to scan things and edit them properly.
Oh, I know.
Has this nice, contrast to it that I was able to get, but it's only because that gray comes through. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just the paint is not vibrant.
Well, and the thing is too, like, it looks so vibrant on this recording here,
but it's not
really
accurate.
isn't.
Yeah, it's really not that vibrant.
No, I had a really hard time when I just posted on Instagram about it because
how dirty that water gets so fast.
Oh, I know, but yeah, I couldn't get the picture to balance right for some reason. Like, just in real life too, like, that purple is so overpowering, and but it's not like this overpowering, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's really hard to really capture what this was like to work with, you know? Oh, and I had to put myself on timeout for a second and just really, like, step back and examine this monstrosity and, like, what have I done? Look, that is my head in my hands right there, just like, what did I do? Oh my god.
So you could tell that well, it's painting styles. You've been painting in. If I had to compare digital painting to one thing, it would be oil. I think oil's the most accurate translation from computer to traditional media. Though I still don't think it's quite accurate. But if you had to put one on it, anyway. So you're used to working from your darks to your lights. Or working from your mid-tone and putting your dark and your light on mid-tone. With traditional painting, at least not so much with like acrylic or oil, but with watercolor, with gouache, with your water-based paints there. Sometimes acrylic, depending on how you're using it. You have to work from your light. You have to. And then layer in your darks, or just intuitively know where to put your darks, and I struggle with that, so I do a lot of glazing, and my paintings are kind of monotonous. But,
Yeah, well, and you can see where I left my whites, because I knew we didn't have a white in this palette, and I've done watercolor before, I know how to do that, and you can see where I tried to do it, and then kept messing up, because, I don't know, and that's my problem too, I think, is that I was treating it like watercolor, even though it's acrylic, and I don't know if this is like a good acrylic, but
I don't think it is.
It was a weird substance to work with, and at some points when I tried to treat it like watercolor, it worked fine. Like, doing the shading on top of the yellow I already had down worked fine as more of a watercolor. I was able to put water on it and move it around and dilute it a little bit. And then I thought I could do that with the blue at the bottom there, and even with like all that water, it still came out so dark. I should have watered it down before putting it on, but it worked okay with the purple, so I thought it would work okay with the blue, and it did not.
No, you've got to lighten. I mean, with those dark colors, you have to lighten them so much, add so much water to get it to the right consistency. And again, that is more practice stuff. That is more things that you just kind of learn by doing it and repeating it and correcting. It's not, I mean, somebody could tell you, but you're not going to take that in.
Yeah.
So something I found interesting with these paints was, though that they did act like watercolors quite a bit, I actually found myself needing the full strength of the paint more often than you do when you're doing watercolor.
Can you kind of explain what that is?
So I would actually grab and just like fill my brush with the paint, straight out of its the pure color there, where I don't dilute it with water or anything, and go in and actually use that. Like her face has lots of just straight up pink on it to achieve a look. With watercolor, you tend to not do that. I mean, there's exceptions to that when you really need I have this nice red that I'm loving to use. It's kind of an orangey red, a scarlet, and you can load that up, entirely just with that color and get a really nice coat with. I'm sorry, I'm going off again. Now I'm just going off with how much I like to use this color, but you can use the full strength of the color, but generally with watercolor you're not using your full strength. So
okay. All right. Well, that's the video. Here's some beautiful pictures of the completed things that again are not edited great, but
yeah,
we tried. So thank you for watching, listening to our rant here. If you did, if you'd like to do the challenge, please do. That would be awesome. I'll put the links, well, not links, but the tags in the description that I've been using for it. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Happy Easter, happy painting.
Happy painting.
Happy day.
Happy painting day.
Bye.